everybody. Welcome back to the Premier Racing League Week in Review for Bristol. I should probably introduce ourselves. I'm the driver to number 3, Camron Arndt.
24 Dakota Nichols.
And 29, James Jackson.
Righty. So, had a good race. Any opening statements you
Bristol,
guys got
baby.
here?
It's Bristol, baby. That's opening statement, first of all.
We need either the disintegrating tires from real life or 30 more people to get the lines to come in. But
Yeah.
So next time we'll do an invert next time. So Dakota starts in the back.
that too. We could do that too.
That might would have saved this race. Honestly, it's I was gonna say it's Bristol, baby, but take away the excitement. It's it's like you said, we needed more cars, especially with this car. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, a little tough, but we got it. We got it in and had some interesting strategy plays throughout the race. Uh, None of the strategies except for just staying on the track really worked, but people attempted them.
Yeah, that was definitely my strategy, was stay on the track, and then had a unfortunate, untimely yellow. Kind of screwed up.
First thing we need to point out here is Cameron's not on the racetrack. What's up with it?
I was trying to be nice and give as much time before I gridded to get Jim in there during his technical difficulties, and then I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the timer ran out.
Oh,
So,
everybody likes the nice guy, Cameron. Really appreciate you letting us burn 3 laps of fuel there.
well, I didn't. I was on pit road. Oh man.
As if it mattered. That's the other thing we need to touch on. Fuel
Yeah.
was no issue.
Not the factor that we had hoped it would be.
No, we
No, and
established.
you wonder if we changed the fuel percentage for this week, but we didn't want to go off brand. We've been kind of trying to keep everybody up to date, and it going into Bristol, we didn't want to make the call on like a Saturday night. Hey, we're gonna run 40% fuel.
Yeah. And we kind of had this issue majority of the season with these short tracks is that you can get well over halfway on one fuel stop and just kind of uh, we just kind of focused more on the fact that we were like, oh, you're gonna have to pit for tires. Well, today kind of plateaued, or Monday kind of plateaued, and you didn't really need to pit for tires.
Yeah, and I'll get y'all's opinion on it, but I think even if we drop the fuel percentage, I mean, you're going to come in every 50 laps, and then everybody's on fresh tires all racing, so you don't have any strategy there either.
No, I don't think there's really much of a way to create strategies. I think it's just with this car. I mean, I know we've done races here in the ARCA cars, the trucks, and you can do a little bit of strategy because the tires are so much faster when they're brand new. I remember New Lap in the Field was the only one on new tires there in the Manifold series, but it's these cars, the tires just are they're too good for their own good.
Yeah, they're bulletproof. The only thing I would think is if we do run like a 50 lap fuel cell, maybe 2 sets of tires for a 200 lap race, so you have to pick and choose. You have to,
Yeah, maybe a middle stint 100 laps.
yeah, fuel. You have at one of your stops you have to double stint a set of tires. But I mean that's something to think about while we're testing for the next season. But also I don't think
100%.
we're gonna have that issue with the older car.
Another
Well,
note on that, we are moving to the Gen 6 car, so we'll see whether or not these issues are good. We'll definitely test that for you guys to make sure we have some good racing in that car.
yeah, I was going to say, we got some recruitment races coming up next month and through December, and albeit we're not going to Bristol for our first Gen 6 season, I think we could use one of those recruitment races as like a test to see if it's, better.
Yeah, and the other comp would be Dover, which we are going to. So, concrete track,
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. The only thing I'd say with Dover is it's twice the length, so I feel like just the speeds you're going to carry with the all throttle time, stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue. Especially in those cars, I think they raced pretty decent at Dover. Plus, you won't
Yeah,
have to
well,
deal with shifting, so I
yeah,
think that
that's
also.
that's the real kicker. Which we didn't do much of that here on the next gens. Although I did after 50 laps, I actually picked up speed, starting to downshift to fourth. But I mean, first 50 laps of a run, you could really just keep it in fifth.
That's interesting. I tried shifting a little bit, but I didn't see any gains from it. So, all right,
Well,
after a little
if you
delay here, we're
are
going green finally.
finally going green, and, and
Jackson
since
just
we're on
not
them,
getting the memo.
Third
yeah,
gear. Third gear
Jackson
start.
was third gear. Yeah, third gear had to be.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah.
He called it out on our chat. We were in voice chat. He goes,
Yeah. I
"Whoops."
was sitting there and I'm like, I almost drove through and I'm like, I barely got it slowed down. We got it slowed down. Griffin with the new paint scheme, still rocking John Deere, but this white really pops under the lights.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, dude. The white, I don't know. I feel like he should just run that moving forward. That is a sleek look. I like it a lot. I feel like it makes the I don't know if that's gold or brown on the front, but I feel like it pops more with the white.
Absolutely. I mean, I hardly ever notice that there is gold on that car, to be honest, when it's black, but I've definitely noticed it here.
So I was gonna say the exact opposite. It gives me like old school, like Gen 4 night invert vibes, like Mark Martin with that. He always had the black, white, and blue Viagra, and then like Richmond under the lights would be white, blue, and black, right? And I thought it was perfect for the night race, but I was gonna say I kind of think he should maybe go back to the matte black next week at Watkins Glen, but I don't know. It looks good. It looks really good under the lights, though.
And I will
And that could
say,
be part of the
we
lights.
could say that this one's better or worse, or we prefer this one, but both schemes are great paint schemes that he has on that car.
I'm kind of surprised no one else. You'll see it there on mine. I went with the blue rockers for the playoffs, and I didn't really see anybody else do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when yours popped up, I was like, oh, he did it. I thought it was a little aggressive on some schemes.
Yeah, and that's like me and you talked about. I'm the oddball when it comes to like if I'm a playoff car, I don't care if my car looks tacky. I want it to be known,
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
I will
Jackson.
say it definitely
Go ahead, Cam.
looked decent on your. Sorry, but it definitely looked decent on your car. I thought about doing it on my paint scheme for the playoffs, but I didn't think it quite looked good with the color scheme that I was going with.
Yeah, and then Jackson did an update to his, so nice of him.
Well, at least we know exactly who we're looking for. I will say, we got Griffin, you, and Dakota all running very similar
yeah, we got
colorways here.
Camron almost dying off of turn 4. That's what we got there.
Yep, I was getting frustrated trying to figure out how to get around James and overdid it for a couple laps.
Well, we've talked about this before. Dakota having to stare at my bumper. I hope while you were staring at mine, you took advantage of this QR code. Checked out some great equipment from Track Racer.
Actually, I'm gonna do that right now. Save the QR.
I am an affiliate.
I noticed.
I'll put that out there. I am an affiliate, so I do get commission off of that.
He does get commission. Go check him out. I know I didn't notice it Monday, but we're kind of twinning on the paint schemes. You got a little bit more black than I do, but the base colors are there. Just a hint of green.
Yeah. We were talking about the actual Bristol night race and the warm up here before we got going, and Keselowski and Bell and all that. This is a knockoff of the old Keselowski Bristol night race. So that was the inspo there with the multi mashup sponsor colors stuff. So
Dig it. I like it. Well, Cameron, we talked about it a little bit before we went live here, and So what's your thoughts as you're following James here? I mean, there's no like, we're not gonna hit the outside.
Right now, and up to this point, I think this is the point where I start to just settle in behind him. But my main thing was I found some speed behind him. Um, I'm just trying my best to just get around him, because I kept falling back like this when I make an attempt and then be able to drive back to him. So I'm like, I just need to get by him. Um, this is the point I think I settled in from what I remember. But for the first little bit there, I was just trying to literally trying everything I could and seeing what sticks, going to the top, staying on the bottom, diamond, everything. The closest I got was trying to running not the middle, but like a little bit up the track, and I was able to get a run down the straightaways. But it was never enough for me to actually poke my head out and get next to him. Um, I know there was a couple times where it would have been close, but I wasn't going to dive bomb James 10 laps into the race. So at this point, I tried to, especially when I started making these mistakes, I'm like, I just need to settle in behind him and just try to take care of the tires. I think we established that I was not doing that as good as I probably should have. But I knew that I could abuse them because my plan going into it was to go 75, 75, 50. Obviously, that did not work out though.
Wow, so you thought tire wear was going to be a bigger issue than it was?
Definitely. I mean, it was a big issue at. I mean, I don't know if it was a big issue, but it was an issue at North Wilkesboro, and the strategy was able to get me to win. Granted, we had enough cautions in that race, and the strategy kind of got thrown in the air, but it was still relatively close to running that strategy there. And I thought that maybe with this track being a little bit more abrasive, a little bit faster than North Wilkesboro, well, not a little bit, it's a lot faster. Um, figured that maybe I could, even if I lose a couple laps on pit road, that I'd be able to have the speed that my average lap time would still be faster than if you were one stopping it and falling off. But as we've established, it just kind of plateaued and didn't really have become an issue. And then we didn't really see if there would have been any merit to it because, I mean, you and Dakota didn't even hit under green at all, so didn't really end up being an issue.
Yeah.
Well, I think green flag stops. You know, if we don't get that unfortunate caution, I think it would have been interesting because, I mean, you're talking going 75, 75, 50, and my whole plan was 100, 100.
Yeah, and I was thinking
Yeah.
like whatever I could get. Like if it was, I don't even remember what the fuel cell was. If it was 110, 115, or 120. But I was going to run it more or less dry, anticipating a yellow at some point, and not trying to make a green flag pit stop. So
I think it would have had more merit had we not run a single pit road. We'd run one pit road or dual pit roads, just because you probably only lose maybe 2 laps rather than 4 or 5, um, just from pacing on pit road. Just, but I don't. It. I didn't. Originally, I was gonna switch it back, and I was debating for this first whole run, probably from here to the point that I pit, about just trying to stretch it, but with me going the first 30, 40 laps with the intention of pitting at lap 75, I definitely blew through my tires near the end of that run and kind of forced my hand to have to pit, or I would have lost the lap anyway, just from being slower and on worse tires. Um, so that's kind of why I still went with that original strategy. I think I definitely knew the 100 100 would have worked a lot better, but I just pigeonholed myself, I think, in the beginning there.
Yeah, and you're definitely, so it sounds like your first run's a little different than mine is, you know, I just caught Griffin about 7 laps ago and I've kind of fallen off of him. And my whole game plan was if I'm not in the lead, we're gonna make Griffin push as hard as he's willing to push. And that's just where I was at as far as like strategy, was just making somebody else use up more than what I'm using.
I know that we were talking about not having a lot of passing. Um, I will say we do have a most positions gained point that is added to whoever gains the most positions from race start to race end. Um, if it tells you how little passing we had, Dakota won the most positions gained from moving from third to first throughout the race.
Two
So
is hot.
there there wasn't a whole lot of passing.
No, and it's it's like you were just talking about. It's this core. I think I heard Jackson touch on it. Going back and watching James's run through his Encore, and it's basically like you see us three out front here is we're driving on the edge of what this car will give you, and I mean if the person in front of you is doing the same thing, you're never going to get around them. And as unfortunate as that is, that's kind of the hand you were dealt, and which is why you seen me run up on Griffin's bumper and then back off because now Griffin's pushing harder because he thinks that I'm pushing harder than he is. And so it really just turned in, instead of checkers, it was more of like a chess game, which when you go to Bristol, that's not what you want. So I don't know how you fix that, like we were saying before, but it was an experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, and just touching back on you talking about the most points or most positions gained point going to Dakota. You know, it is truly unfortunate that it was such a small field and we couldn't do any passing because that the Dakota games, it's in play for a lot of guys late in this race. Myself, Miguel. We were looking at with 40 to go, we were looking at 3 guys getting 1 point for each gain in 2 spots. So
Yeah.
here comes the pass for the lead.
I will say Jim set it up a little bit. Not on purpose.
Ultimate wingman over here, Jim.
Yeah, he kind of set this up with the way that the exit of this corner goes, and I just took the momentum and ran with it.
Yeah. I will note that I don't think that was necessarily on Jim's fault. He was intending to get out of the way there. I think that Griffin just intended that he was going to go up the track, and that's not what happened. So,
No,
I think it was just the loss in communication there more than anything. Um, but I don't think I put any of that on Jim there.
no, and every single time I came up on Jim, he exited the corner and went straight to the apron. So
Yep.
it's just early, and I don't think Griffin is anticipating that.
Yep.
He wasn't, and that's actually
Yep.
something me and Griffin talked about right after the race. Was he felt like I handled the lap traffic a lot better, and I think the reason I was able to is I've been around Jim enough to know when I got there he was going to the bottom, and so I would already drift up the racetrack anticipating it, whereas I don't think Griffin was.
Ooh, door bang.
Yeah, a little door bang. It took me a couple laps here to really figure out the top, but once I started hitting it, it's there. But like we were talking about earlier, I mean, if you don't hit it right, you lose versus gain.
Yeah, later in the race, the second run here, I start diamonding the corner, and it feels faster because you get that longer straightaway. But I was actually losing. I was running 0.3 of a lap slower. I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll stop doing that.
Well, let me ask this: were you running the top in fifth?
Yeah, I was 5th pretty much all race.
So to hit the top perfectly in this car, you would drop to 4th in the center. That's the only way the top worked.
Well, and I
me.
wasn't going to the top. I was like kind of double apexing. I was hitting the stripe in 1, and then like drifting up to the middle between in 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, like in the middle of 3 and 4, 1 and 2, and then diamonding down off. Ooh, Jackson with a big hit.
Yeah, and I think me and Griffin also talked about that. We thought he pit early because of that hit right there, like he got damaged.
And it's interesting to hear Camron say 75, 50. I thought you picked up some damage, stuck behind me and hit it, but Sounds
Oh,
like a
I just
management
I just
strategy.
wore through my tires. Yeah, I wore through my tires, but as soon as I saw Miguel go by me, I decided just to pit there. I pit even a little bit earlier than 75. I was abusing my tires a lot trying to get past you, and that was not the move. I will say on the whole diamonding thing, I found more speed too if you did shift down in the fourth doing that, because that's how I was starting. That's part of how I was able. I think that's the closest I got to passing you down the straight was getting making the straightaway longer there. But I was downshifting down to fourth in the middle, and then turning back down the track, and that's kind of how I was able to get closer to you. But it still wasn't enough as with this track. This is the point that I start to experiment because I see Miguel making the top work a little bit. I just couldn't get the top to work at all, so I eventually go back to the bottom.
It's interesting to see you experiment with it. I just, it just kind of felt weird that like I was the only one that could get the top to work, and I just,
Yeah, I mean, I was practicing a little bit day of, um, and I probably just didn't get enough practice with it, but I got a little tight there. I did apologize to Miguel during the race there. He definitely had his nose in there, and I shouldn't have come up on there. Just got real tight and just couldn't control the car at that point. But yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of practice in this car, and I think if I might have practiced, I might have been able to figure out the top, but I would kind of just run a couple laps on the bottom, a couple laps on the top, and see what I felt was faster. And I just felt the bottom was faster, and so I just kind of stopped practicing the top. And I feel like if I would have just kept at the top, we might have had a little bit more speed. I just didn't have quite the time to practice that before the race.
yeah, I'm kind of an oddball when it comes to practicing for Bristol. I always suck in qualifying. That's a given. But I really practice like restarts and long run speed. That's my Bristol practice 90%.
Yeah, I usually do decent with my long run speed just naturally. I think it's mainly just because I slow it down enough, and so usually whenever I'm practicing for these races, I'll practice my qualifying speeds because that's where really my struggle it always is just getting my qualifying. I think it's definitely helped me in the last couple weeks. Um, I mean, this is the outlier. I think I never qualified good at Bristol regardless. But I mean, I qualified on the pole at Michigan. That was the first week I really started practicing just exclusively that. And then Indy, I qualified second, I believe, or maybe third. I can't remember exactly where. I think I qualified second. But
Yeah, I think Dakota sniped him from
yeah, I think
I did on
last
accident.
on
I
accident.
didn't know
I'm the
I
only
was going
person that
that
can
fast.
get the pole on accident.
I didn't know I was going that fast. Like I did not think I was on pole pace.
That's how I felt at Darlington. I felt like I missed the corner, and then it pops up P1. I'm like, oh, all right, well, sweet.
Yep.
And
Me and
that's the
Dakota.
crazy thing is when you feel like you're going slow, that's normally your fastest laps.
Up here's where I decided to pit here at lap 70. As soon as Miguel got by me, I pulled down pit road. I was
The
just gonna leave
tragic
spot there.
double pit road.
Yep, I definitely intended to switch it to single or double pit roads, but forgot about it.
Really, it didn't end up mattering that much. Well, for the two people that pit before caution came out, it did. But
Yeah, I mean, you're
Yep.
two
I
laps
mean,
down before you hit your box.
yep.
yeah,
I mean, I will say it would have been. It ended up working out for Jackson there at the end. Technically, he was able to get back on the lead lap, finish third. However, anybody else that pit before that, namely me, couldn't quite get back out there. going back to what Dakota said before about trying to push Griffin a little bit more. You see now Griffin losing a couple spots, lost the lead to Dakota, now lost second to Jackson. Got to wonder if that played a part in that as well.
I don't know. I kind of felt like pushing him earlier helped, but I really don't.
No, I think what happened there is, like we talked about with Griffin getting held up just a little bit by Jim. It put all three of you guys under a blanket, and these two just never let each other go. So that's why Dakota's checked out, and these two are still door to door because you run the same lap time for 100 laps here. So.
There's some really cool battling going on between these two. The only couple laps we get the entire race because Jackson will go a lap down, and that'll take out probably our first or second and third best drivers that night. Or at least one of them. Yep, there goes Jackson. Interesting that he decided to pit there after that battle. I would have expected him to try to stay out as long as he could, same as you guys did, but I was really surprised to see him pit here.
He came on the radio. I asked, I was like, did you get damage? And he goes, nope, I'm at my window. And I'm like, that's interesting.
I will say, if he pits there, he's going to be close, but I think from what I remember, he would have made it to the end. I think a fuel window was about 122 laps. And so he probably could have made it to the end pitting here. He just would have been at a tire disadvantage at the end of that run. But the undercut might have helped him a little bit here. Again, we never really got to see that work out. I will say those tires really were faster for like the first 10 to 15 laps of a run. And then you plateau and you're running the same laps times as everybody else. Because I know when I came out of the pits, I could get right up to everybody and just drive around them, but never, just 3 laps, 3 or 4 laps, whatever it ended up being. Looks like 30 laps. I just couldn't overcome that much without some yellow flag or some green flag pit stops for the leaders.
Yeah, it's a shame that the first thing that came to mind in that when you're talking there is Las Vegas. That was my strategy at Las Vegas, was the tires plateau. So, like, I stayed out and cut out a pit stop, and like, yes, everyone was faster than me, but not for long. The tires hit a wall, and that was what it was Monday night too. I didn't have the fire off speed that Dakota, Griffin, and Jackson had, but like 15 laps in, I'm running the exact same laps as they are. We're all running 15 fours from lap 15 to lap 70. So
yeah. I think at a track like North Wilkesboro, this strategy might work a little bit better. But just because of the fact that it's not as big of a track, and so you have a couple more laps on there that you're able to take advantage of those tire advantage. But I think, like I said, we don't really know exactly how that would have worked because we got a couple cautions in that race right as the pit window would open.
Well, and the other thing there is, like, North Wilkesboro being so flat, you probably scrub and hurt the tires more than here, where the banking catches the car.
Absolutely. I think that it was just a completely different mindset for me as from North Wilkesboro to this race, and I think I definitely did a much better job there saving tires. This racetrack, I will say for the first little bit of that run, every single lap I'm shifting at every corner, and I think that hurt the tires a hell of a lot more. Just carrying more speed through the center of the corner, which is part of that fall off. And at this point, I'm behind, so I'm trying too hard. And that really hurt me. Whereas at North Wilkesboro, part of it was that I was able to start near the front and stay near the front, and so I was playing more defense. I'm a lot better, I feel like, when I'm playing defense than when I'm trying to chase it. Um, and yeah, that just shows itself in these second and third runs that I have.
We kind of glossed over it, but I like the paint scheme this week, Cam.
Yep, absolutely. It's Blood Cancer United, cause that's recently become closer to me. Um, feel free if anybody wants to donate to them. That goes toward any blood cancers, leukemia being one of them. Really cool car. Loved making that one. I think it's one of my best ones that I've had come out. I will say, for myself, the couple of paint schemes that I've had, I think it's my third one I've run this season. Everybody else normally stays in a closer box in terms of their colors. I think this is the third car I've had that's completely different colors from anything else that I've run. And I think I definitely enjoy it. I think this is my favorite one I've had all season.
I really like the silver and red. I think it pops. Silver pops under the lights.
Honestly, I think it popped better at some daytime tracks too. But I'm glad that it was able to pop at this track too. I definitely love these night races for that reason.
Oh, there we go. And we were getting close.
And this is no lie, a lap before I was going to pit anyway, so it couldn't have happened at a better time.
Thanks, Dad.
Yep, thanks for that.
It's just Bristol.
Just losing it,
That's
trying to get too much.
that's just Bristol
Mind you,
happening.
he's on. Yep, mind you, he's on new tires too.
Did a good job locking it down though, and staying down.
He did. He absolutely did.
Very lucky that he was kind of not broadside sitting across the groove. Very easy
He's. We're
to
just glad he
avoid.
didn't get Dale Jr. If anyone knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so he could have done one of two things here. He could have either waited 2 laps to do this, or just pulled up a little bit. Just slide
Either way.
just slide a little bit more.
Either way.
Yeah, just a little advice for Jim. Just don't lock it down when you're in front of Dakota.
Yeah,
Just
just
keep
If
let
you
it
see
rolling.
happen.
Dakota behind you, make sure you aim him. Aim for him.
I know we just complimented you on that, but there's one instance where we need you to just let it roll.
You gotta know. You gotta watch your relative, know who's coming, and if it's 24, you don't hit the brake just as hard. That's all.
Yeah, he's good on the bubble. Everybody else needs him gone.
But yeah, just unfortunate break for Jim and more so for Cameron and Jackson, who get trapped multiple laps down in that. And then this is crazy that pit road opened that quickly.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
all of you except me and Griffin missed it the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it said pit road's open, and so you're at the line. Griffin's obviously right, or Griffin's a little bit behind you too, but where's Cam here? Is that turn? That's turn 3. I'm middle of the backstretch. Jackson's on the backstretch. So yeah, I mean I roll past it because I didn't realize it's open, which almost ended up working out for me. If you see, I hit the apron thinking I'm in turn 2 now because it says open, and I'm like, wait. Almost worked out for me in that leading laps, but
Just needed to do that one more time.
I was so mad at myself for not doing it on the next caution.
That's happened to a lot of people a lot this season, where they'll get 2 laps led and they'll miss that third one just barely.
Well, it would have happened to me in Sonoma if I didn't move Jackson for the win.
Yeah, I think I remember James saying that rule felt pretty targeted.
And I stand by that.
Yeah, I mean, granted, with the people we have, everybody I think would get that point So I wanted to make it a little bit harder to get here.
Be 10 cars every week plus 1 point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta make it work for it a little bit.
So the 3 cars in screen right now are the only 3 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah.
Everyone know Miguel's
Oh
on the
no,
lead
Miguel.
lap
Yeah,
because
yeah, Miguel is on the
you got
lead
the
lap.
wave around, or he took the lucky dog because he had just gotten lapped before that caution came out.
Yeah.
Interesting if they say that Jackson's on the lead lap on your relative there. Don't believe he is at this point.
Now he's -1. He gets the lucky dog or the wave round.
Or no, I saw Jackson and thought Jackson Wade. It's James Jackson. Okay, never mind. Take disregard.
Lots of Jacksons.
Disregard. Yeah, I say it every week. We got Jim, James. We got Jim Jackson, James Jackson. Then we got Jackson Wade. We need some nicknames or something like.
Double J. Oh, wait, that doesn't work either because there's 2 of them.
Really,
Or
really
that
fast
restart
race.
practice team anyway, though.
What's that? Dakota?
Oh, this is where my restart practices came into play.
Yeah. Well, and
I found like first 2 laps of a run, you really can't do anything to hurt the tires. So
I can't tell you how content I was with where I was. I was like, and Cam can attest to this, he was faster than me. Miguel was probably faster than me at times too. I was a 5th place car. So I was good enough to run 4th, being able to hold people behind me. But I was so happy in 3rd. Because I was not a 3rd place car, and at this point I was pretty much guaranteed. So
there just had to be one more caution, you know.
we can't jump ahead too because we got nothing. It's just
Yeah, I think somewhere
Dakota's
around
stepping up.
130. I think we're next caution. I think is somewhere around 130.
It's 165. It's 35 to go.
Oh, it's that late? I thought it was
Yeah.
earlier than that. Oh, we had 2 more though.
Nope. The first caution was on the green flag to get you gridded. So first caution for cause was Jim, and then the 3rd caution, which is the 2nd for cause, sets up the late restart.
Unless we're making something up in my mind. Yeah, I don't think anything changes this run then. Not until the caution.
We'll run it from like 150. Last 50 laps. Be 15 laps to set up the yellow. But to your point, yeah, nothing. It's me versus Miguel is the battle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we managed to do this like almost every week for the past couple weeks, but what's up with our stage break cautions? Like we wreck on even or like weird laps. Like there was a wreck on lap 100 and 175.
165, but yeah.
Oh, was it 165?
Yeah, 35 to go.
I don't think we ever have an odd number. Like it's either ends in 0 or ends in 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Indy a couple weeks ago, I believe was lap 75 or 65 as well, because it set up a 12 lap shootout.
Yeah.
So.
I promise, not rigged.
The odd thing that we've had the last couple weeks was the 2 lap 0 cautions.
Actually, oh wait, is this the caution that I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of not rigged,
Let me
we're
put
gonna,
on.
we're gonna get a taste of this lap car coming up here.
Bottom.
Where is he? There he is. We're not quite.
Ironic that you switched to the pace car because that's about how fast that was tonight.
Oh, mean, the way I got stuck behind you, you would think you're the pace car.
Yeah, I'm fighting for what I can at this point, hoping for some late cautions, but
Cameron, I want you to know, this is how you know we're friends, because throughout this whole thing, I said, Cameron, I understand why you did it. I get it. I want you to know that whole time, I was so mad.
I'm sure you were.
So mad.
Notice I didn't say anything like, "Oh, I'll go high, low." I was like, "I'm gonna stay right the hell where I
Oh,
am."
I'm gonna park it right in front of you.
I'm trying to get save get. I knew you were gonna get by me at some point. At this point, I'm just trying to get as many laps on
Oh,
this before I lose
like
another lap here.
something actually happens. That's crazy. But no, if anybody was worried about it being rigged, here's Cameron blocking me with 38 laps to go.
And I just want to point people to the ticker and see that Cam is 3 laps down,
Yeah, 3 laps down blocking me.
going 4 laps down, which I get it. Ends your night. It affects it. It totally ends your night. You're not getting 4 laps back, but
I will say, as soon as Dakota got to me, I let him by. Like I wasn't gonna thwart him or try to really get real aggressive with it. I was just gonna park in front of him, make him move around me, or set up a run.
Well,
Uh,
here now we get into
here,
part 2 of this situation.
here
Now
is
we're gonna
where
try to tuck in behind me and get back to me.
here is where I come on. I'm gonna put on my Colton hat. Why is that a yellow?
and that was completely sideways before he straightened me out. I wasn't sure if there was anybody else behind me. Yeah,
That's
before he hit me that last time to straighten me back out, I was completely gone. Right, I guess the neck could me back, but yeah, I was completely gone if I didn't get straightened back out. And I didn't want to, this is being completely honest too. At that point, I'm focusing so much on trying to defend, trying to get the lap and stuff like that. I don't know, how many cars are back behind him. I wasn't sure if, yourself or Miguel were right there. I didn't want me to be completely sideways and you guys just wreck into me at that point. And that's the reason the caution came out there.
and there's me throwing a point away. Good job, James. No, and honestly, I get it for sure. Like, you, when I went back and watched it, I'm like, well, he had to have just had his finger on the button, expecting it to be worse than it was. And
Yeah, and I threw the caution before I got straightened back out. If I would have gotten straightened back out before, I would have not called it.
yeah, it just absolutely murdered me and Miguel. You know, like, because Miguel has his computer crash on the restart, and that extra CPU load at when everyone's bunched up like that, and then it puts Jackson back on the lead lap. He goes from 5th to 3rd. So
I have a question. I do have a question though. Let's say this caution doesn't come out and Miguel's computer still crashes, but we're green. How many other cars wreck with him?
I don't think any.
No,
Okay, because
I don't.
I didn't know if he was around other people or not, like under the
Um,
green.
He
I
was
think it would
behind
have been
me.
too spread out.
He was fluctuating between like 4/10 and 8/10 behind me. That run. So if anything, he disappears from behind me. And then like here we'll go to him if I can go the right way.
So I don't know why it started me right there. Did you get a penalty or something,
Yeah,
James?
yeah. I split on
Okay,
pit road.
gotcha. I was like, why is it starting me on the outside second row, being laps down?
There he goes. He gone.
Well, if it makes anybody feel better about it, at this point, and I think me and Griffin both said the same thing, I see Jackson back on the lead lap, and I'm like, okay, this is not good for me. Because I really felt like he was gonna have speed for me there at the end, but I think, like you said, I mean, by the time you pass a couple cars, you don't have anything for the front two.
Yeah. No, but like I said, me and Miguel were both +2 from our starting spot, sitting there looking at a point, and then Jackson gets back on the lead lap, and because Cameron's trying to ruin the league.
No, it was me. It's me trying to ruin it. That's what it is.
Well, Cameron's the main guy, so he's got to shoulder some of this responsibility. No, but obviously, like, I get it. You're anticipating it being worse than it was, trying to save us from running headlong into you. But yep, it ends up being a negative -5-point swing for me. So, because you get a point, or you get 2 points from Miguel crashing out, I lose 2 points in this position to Jackson. So, makes life a little harder for the old 29 the next 2 weeks.
Well, as long as you don't wreck on the pace lap at Watkins Glen, you'll probably see me die at some point, so that'll probably help you.
I'm not worried about you, dude. You're 32 to the good. When we get to the points, we'll see the full breakdown. But yeah.
No, but that's another point on the grid.
Yeah, true that. 2 points, but it's 2 points for everybody.
That's true.
So. Yeah, Miguel, that's a bummer for you, bud. That was rough to see you disappear.
Well, Miguel, I will say this. You could pull Kyle Busch and just, wreck everybody that's in front of you. It's not exactly like a fan favorite move, but I mean, it is reliable.
We'll get the job done.
Yeah. You can worry about the fans after you win the championship. You know what I mean? Don't take that seriously. I know you can't see me right now, but don't take that seriously. I was going to ask you, I remember Sonoma for you. How you feeling going into Watkins Glen? You turn any laps?
That's not bad. 1:11.6, not bad, Miguel.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Well, I think top 5 pace.
Easily top 5 pace. I think I'm like 1:10.6. But I can't do that consistently. So
That's what I was-
1:11.6.
That's what I was going to ask, and I'm going to ask Miguel that too. Is that best lap, or is that like reliably a 1:11.6?
I think everybody's going to have some. The good thing is that you don't have to keep it on the actual racing surface anymore. With the little update, you can run wide at turn 1. Eight tires going to be better. Brandon, I'll start right behind Dakota here.
I hope he does too, because I'm going to one up him. 12's better than 8. Now what?
I do. I think.
Now what? Now what's the big one?
I do. I think that the curbs are going to catch somebody out next week. I think somebody good is going to get bitten.
They're very treacherous for sure.
Whether that's
100%.
Jackson, myself, Dakota, Cam.
Well, it's me. That's what I was saying, because me and Cameron were testing the other night, and I turned to 1:10.6, and I went for a little bit more in turn 1, and I absolutely ramped the curb, and I died.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe that it could have been categorized as a rage quit from testing there from Dakota.
Well, it was.
I was done. Because I heard Jackson talking about using the curb, and then I go to do it, and I'm 20 feet in the air.
Yeah, no, the curb in 1 and the exit of 6, that right-hander or that left-hander, those are those are a ramp in 6.
Yep.
Those are
I don't
steep
know.
and aggressive.
Yeah, I which is weird because in the old track they were not nearly that tall. So I'm curious to see how that compares to the real life track. I know I haven't really heard many comparisons come from like the real world drivers. I don't know if Carson Hocevar or anybody on their stream has said anything, but they're a little aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, you see those guys just like fly through turn 1 in real life, and it doesn't feel like they come off the ground like that.
No, it's like a ramp. Like
I think it's like that. It's like turn 4 at Sonoma. You have to make a decision on how you're attacking it, and you can't second guess it or half measure it.
Yeah.
no,
Like if you try to split the baby and ride the curbs, you're done. You have to either give up on entry to stay inside the curbs, or you have to just go for it. So
Yeah, and that'll be like our little strategy for Watkins. I mean, do you play it safe and stay inside the boundaries, or do you try to push it and risk losing everything?
I will say in turn one you do lose a little bit of time running it, like how you had to run it before, with the incident penalties going wide. However, I don't really think it's an incredible amount, and to your point, you're not really risking a whole lot by running it that way as compared to if you're running it wide every lap. Um, so it'll be interesting to see who exactly goes that route. Um,
I can tell you who will go that route.
Jackson.
Right there, this guy.
Yeah, he's taking it wide. Can he do it consistently? I know actually, when we talked to him pre-playoffs, he was kind of worried about it. So we'll see.
yeah,
Well, like I
I
said,
will say
you
that
just have to respect it.
You
yeah,
definitely have to respect it.
I will say I've gotten to the point where I think that I can run it consistently. The rest of it is whether or not I make that one little mistake on one random lap.
Yeah.
I think me winning here at Bristol, kind of, I have to worry about that a little bit less. But
So I didn't think you had to worry about anything going into the playoffs, sitting 30 points up. I mean, you only gained 2 spots in the cut or 2 points on the cut line from this race. It's just that it's going to be real hard for anybody to, because the issue is sure could somebody pass you? Yes. Are 3 people, 4 people going to pass you? No.
well, the unfortunate thing is, and I'm kind of hoping is it was just because it was Bristol and it was this car, but we kind of lost 3 or 4 cars as soon as the playoffs started. Like we went from 12 to 8.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with
Now
it being a road course next week, I don't have a whole lot of
it won't
faith
be
in it,
much better.
in them coming back.
Yeah. But now you've just got your 8 playoff guys, which you hate to see.
Yeah.
And so every position is, I want to say, worth more, but it's really worth less.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is at this point.
Well, if you can move Jackson at Watkins Glen too, maybe we can. You'll gain a little bit. What are you like, -2 right now?
Uh, no, I'm +2. I'm +2.
Oh, you're in.
Yeah.
Yep. He started
Who's out?
+3.
Oh, that's right. You started plus.
Yeah, I
Yep.
lost a
And then
point,
Griffin
but
moved up. Yep. Griffin moved up to second. I moved down to third. Jackson, I think, James stayed static. Jackson moved up. Miguel down, even though he was, I believe, tied with Jim, and then gains 1 spot on him. And then Brandon with a tough race. I know he was having a lot of issues trying to figure out Bristol. Loses a couple points, but still not out of the realm of possibility. He can point his way in.
Yeah, he kind of ruined my night in Vegas because I picked him to win the pole, and I thought he was going to be really, really good at that, or good at Bristol, because I mean, he always is. And I don't know, he was just he kind of struggled. So I'm glad I'm not a betting man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, so going back to that 165 caution, if that runs out from there and I finish third, Cam finishes sixth, I'm actually in third by a point. So that's how big
Yeah,
of a
you don't
swing
want that
that
much.
was. So
What could have been. All right, but so there's your playoff standings here after Bristol. Uh, got what I almost said Sonoma. Really don't want to go back there. Watkins
I
Glen
wouldn't
next week.
mind.
I know you wouldn't mind. Uh, but going to Watkins Glen will be really interesting there. See, I hope definitely. I think the one prediction I think we can all feel very fairly confident in is Jackson moving up from fifth into that championship four. Um, I don't really see a whole lot other than that necessarily changing. However, I think the guys that are going to be good at Watkins Glen are all up there in the top six. So I think it'll be really tough for anybody really to move a whole lot without outside of Jackson winning the race.
Yeah, I mean we talked about it pre-race, pre-playoffs. You know, we're looking at Jackson going from -2 to at least +5 if that goes as we expect. You know, pole, fastest lap, most laps led, and a win. That's a 7 points of bonus points if he can do all that. And then who gets like who runs second, who runs third. Um,
Well, hot off the press, I do think there's a situation where James stays fourth here, and we're looking at Cameron out. Cameron, we can't have another Sonoma here.
No, and that's part of why I'm doing so much practice here. I think I should be able to run consistently enough to do pretty good. I've always said that Watkins Glen is one of my better tracks in a stock car for road courses, at least. Um, I'm not looking. I don't think I'll necessarily have a bad race, and without some mistake coming up, I think I should be consistent enough to be fine.
oh shoot, I did not update. You're sitting at
Yeah,
2051, not
2019.
2019.
yeah, yeah.
So
Look for
that's
some
a
heroics here for me to come from -45.
yeah, that's editor mistake on my end. But actually, you've been docked 36 points for your race manipulation. So that's hot off the presses. Um, no, all due respect, I am hoping that you do have some kind of mistake uh, Monday night
Yep,
because I need it. So
I think it'll
Well,
be.
that's
I
like
mean,
I said,
I,
Cameron at Sonoma was not a good sight to see. So
I call it out a fourth place
I was
finish.
gonna
Give me
say he's
some
still
credit.
finished top five. It's still gonna be yeah. I mean,
Yep,
I'd have it win in fourth if we run that same result back. I would be +2, I think, at that point, but it wouldn't be enough. Like I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable. But
definitely happy I got that regular season championship. Really bought me. I mean, without those extra 3 points from that, I'd be +3 right now if I finished second, and then really hurt Miguel here not getting that because he'd only be -5 with a realistic shot of pointing his way in this next race here.
well, and I'll flip side that me not getting past Griffin at Indy. That was 3 points there for me that Miguel has now. So
Yep,
he'd be sitting tied for seventh with Brandon at minus
yep,
11. So every point matters all year, man. And that's, people want to belabor the playoffs. Certain things don't matter. It's like, I mean, look at what we're at here. We're talking about one position at Indy being the difference between Miguel having a shot and or not, and, you know, me feeling a little bit more comfortable or not. So,
yep.
but we'll get
It's all
into.
woulda, coulda, shoulda. Let's go into the statistics here.
So here we are, full season, the full 11 races so far. Dakota, nothing's changed. Still dominating wins and laps led and poles and average finish. Average finish down to 2.4.
we made it better this week.
Yeah. So let's. I mean, if he shows up, he's finishing top three. So
Yeah, pretty much guaranteed.
hard,
Obvious.
hard to do anything with that. Uh, Cam, me and you both get our 9th top 10 in 11 tries, so continue to lead that category.
I'm looking at a stat here that's, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of sad, but we're looking at Miguel leading over 100 laps this season, no win.
Well, we talked about it, man. He's fast. He's really
Yeah,
fast. You just can't, for whatever reason, man. Like whether it's you or, uh, you and me both at Vegas sniped that from him. So I mean,
I
he's
think.
got the pace. If he
Yep.
makes it, talk about somebody to be afraid of at Homestead. If he makes it, if he pulls us out of the fire, it's another mile and a half. I would look for him to be fast. So
even if he doesn't, I mean, he could come in there and win the championship race, not even in the playoffs like anymore.
right,
That's
yeah.
I I need to see him win. He needs to lock himself in the next season's All-Star race.
And then just playoffs only here. Nothing shocking based on the results here, but
Yep.
Man, if I could keep that average finish, that'd be awesome.
I
I think it'd
mean,
be some sort of record, maybe. I don't know.
Dude, it's not happening at Watkins Glen. I am.
all right. And then a little
Remaining schedule.
schedule update. Another 24 added to the board, but here we head to Watkins Glen next week for 45 laps. Pretty straightforward strategy, you think, for Watkins Glen? Just run it till it's dry and
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's.
I
I don't
don't.
think you're gonna gain any. I mean, I know that I'm many laps into a run, and it's the pace is still there. I don't think they're gonna gain anything from pitting early or pitting late. So I don't think it's gonna
Yeah, I don't think
come down to.
Well,
I don't think you're gonna have the
the,
tire issues like we have at Sonoma.
no, but I do want. Are we on the same fuel percentage as we were at Sonoma?
63, right?
Yeah, we're around 10 less laps, I believe. So,
Okay.
and it's a more flowy track, I
I
think,
was
than
gonna say
Sonoma is.
fuel
So,
really made that Sonoma race something. So I was
I
gonna say maybe, but
I know, but I think that pretty much hard is 22 something laps, and then it's so can I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I don't think it's gonna be as close as Sonoma was on fuel, but
well, okay. So you've done fuel testing, and yours is 22.
22. I think it's 22 and a half when you've run a couple laps and to get like an average fuel burn that
Okay.
iRacing
Well, the
recognizes.
reason the reason I ask is I know it's Sonoma, and I won't be on Jackson's pace at Watkins Glen, I don't think, but me and Jackson kind of like outpaced ourselves to match the fuel strategy, and I wonder if like Jackson could accidentally outpace the fuel again.
If he can run 110s for 22 laps, yeah, he probably will. Um, I think that there's enough fall off, but the thing that this has that Sonoma doesn't, that benefited me at Sonoma, is all the technical parts of Sonoma. You have to go a little bit slower, and like I didn't do a whole lot of clutching during the race, but like I found in testing that clutching the S's at Sonoma was almost faster than just feathering the throttle, and then you're feathering, you're burning more fuel and all that. So um, that benefited me at Sonoma, and you don't have that here. It's just it's hard gas, hard brake, hard gas, hard brake at the Glen. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I was just wondering if you guys were finding the same thing where I don't think I get to play my fuel save game here. I mean,
yeah. I just think it's too flowy of a track that, I mean, what I will say just off of that is with you saying that I'm with more tactical at Sonoma, I just think you're having to accelerate from a lower speed more there, and so you're just going to burn more speed. You're going to shift more there than you are at Watkins Glen. Um, I just think that it's just not going to be as big of an issue, especially with us running. I believe I don't remember exactly how many miles Sonoma was, but
it was the
we're
same. It was
definitely running
110.
10 laps. Okay, so yeah, so we're running a little bit less laps, but a longer track. So we'll see. I think it shouldn't be an issue. Um, but it definitely could be with it being 45 laps. You might have to save a little bit.
I sure would like it to be an issue again.
I don't know if it's going to be as big of an issue that we're going to need Jackson to slow down quite as much, but we'll see.
By the way, Miguel says he definitely cooks at Homestead, so watch out.
Yeah, we don't need it. I already have to worry about Cameron at
Yeah.
Homestead if we win this thing. I don't need
Dakota,
two.
Dakota cooks too. It just comes out burnt.
I cook the tires at Homestead is what I do.
All right, now
Oh,
into
man.
some new news here. We can announce the 18 tracks on the schedule for 26.
All right, you got it,
Yep.
Cameron. You want me?
I can go ahead and start, and you can finish us off. So we're gonna switch to 18 race for season. We'll have 6 playoff races and uh, 12 regular season races, so a couple more races. In both, we voted to move towards a 3 race championship round. With that in mind, these are the tracks that we landed on. We had um, our 2 pole winners for both the short track and the intermediates, being Kansas and Dover. I was really hoping to see National Super Speedway. We got Kansas. Um, so look to that be another similar thing to Las Vegas, but we have Atlanta Motor Speedway, mind you, with us moving to the Gen 6, that is the 2008 version. That is not the modern drafting track version of that track. We've got Auto Club Circuit of the Americas. That is the I guess other side of that coin. We're going to the new version that they run now on the short course layout. Keep everybody a little bit more close together, laps a little shorter. Charlotte Oval, and then we're also running the Charlotte Roval. So going to that track twice, just different layouts. Bringing Chicagoland back in with it coming back on the NASCAR schedule, and also us moving to the old cars, bringing that track back into the fold. Also ran obviously Daytona season opener, then Dover and Homestead. Um, Dover a newcomer, kind of surprising to me that people wanted to go there, but I'm definitely okay with it.
Especially after
I'll let
Monday night at Bristol. Oof.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Um,
paid him.
so yeah, and so I'll let Dakota get the second half of these tracks here.
Um, did you get Martinsville?
No, he
I
did
know you
I
got
didn't
ringside.
go
Kansas.
over any of them.
Okay, so you stopped at the bottom of
I did,
the
yeah,
track.
yep.
Okay, so it's kind of similar to Kansas. We're gonna hit Kentucky. Three really similar tracks because we're gonna hit Texas, and if anybody's raced Kentucky, Kentucky and New Texas are really close together. Um, New short track this season. We're gonna run Martinsville instead of Bristol. Hopefully, that'll be a little bit more entertaining. Um, we're gonna hit Phoenix. Is this new or old? Have we decided on new or old?
Um, I think we're leaning toward new. We'll let you guys know if that changes, but
That's
right
tentative.
now we're going
Either
new.
way, we're going Phoenix. Um, then we're gonna hit Pocono. Richmond will be another short track for us. Talladega regular season finale. A little bit of a shakeup. Give somebody just a chance to just throw it all in the wind and get a playoff spot. And back to Watkins Glen again. So no Sonoma next season. Coda will take the place of that. I think it'll be really fun next season.
Yep,
Yeah, I was give
yep.
my couple thoughts on this. I think Gen 6 at Martinsville is going to be good. Just not being able to downshift, the heavy braking at both ends. I think it'll be good. Excited for the 750 package on the road courses, low downforce, wheel spin, H pattern shifter, tire hop, wheel hop. It'll be good stuff.
Yeah, I think our whole
Well,
short track package will be better. I mean, just shifting in the next gen kind of just ruins it.
Yeah, I mean that was what
yep,
we were looking to avoid at Martinsville. Then when we moved away from Martinsville this season, we audibled to Michigan, and I think that's exactly what we needed for this car.
yep.
And then, as a bit of a Texas merchant myself, I'm really excited to see Texas on the schedule.
I'm still sad that it's not Legacy Texas, but it's okay.
And
Had to
then
do something a little bit different, especially with Kansas coming onto the schedule. Don't
I
want to
mean,
have
I guess the
every
real question
intermediate being
is,
a cookie cutter.
yeah, Yeah, well, speaking of cookie cutters, if you're a Texas merchant, you've got to be a Kentucky merchant then, right? Because they're identical.
They're opposite though. It's 3-4 is the tough spot in Kentucky. I
Yeah,
I've
but
won at Kentucky, but Texas, man, I just something about that track it suits me. I don't know. Um,
Uh, Off
but
throttle more.
yeah,
You
I
love being off
guess
throttle.
I do love being off throttle. Um, as a for a while there, Kentucky was my home track. I'm like I said before, I'm 4 hours from Indy, I'm 4 hours from Michigan, 4 hours from Kentucky. But Kentucky was the first track I went to, and I got really right back into NASCAR. So I was really bummed to see it go off the schedule, and that'll be one I'm circling big time next year, trying to do my best to win that one.
Griffin said championship race at Watkins Glen. There's absolutely no way that just got said.
So
There's
I
no.
will say for right now,
Oh yeah,
our
yeah,
only
okay. No, so what that
road
is
course
he
playoffs.
questioned it. He
Oh,
Oh, no, no,
Griffin
no,
was
no, no.
questioning it. Yeah, no, the schedule and the race lengths are not nailed down yet. This is alphabetical order of the 18 tracks that we're
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
yeah. I
The
didn't know what he
only
was saying. I was like, no, we're not doing this.
no,
No,
no.
watch out. Vic
Yep,
Jackson gets that championship for. You can go ahead and
yeah,
book it.
yep.
We put his name on it preseason.
Yeah, the only racetrack or road course track we're gonna have in the playoffs. I'll say this now is gonna be the Roval. Same as real life. Um,
Yeah,
we had James really lobbying for that one.
I think it makes sense, man. It's the
Yep,
you have just like in real life, you have Watkins Glen in the second half of the regular season. You have Circuit of the Americas in the first half of the regular season, and the Roval in the playoffs. There's three races that are set, and it's Daytona season opener, Talladega to bookend uh, super speedways for the regular season, and then Charlotte in. I don't know if we've nailed down that it's the cutoff race in the for for the championship four, or if it's just in the playoffs, but it will be in the playoffs.
I feel like me and Cameron did a mock. I think it's in the middle of the first round.
yeah, I think that's what we were doing with the Roval.
Okay.
Because what we're trying to do is for the two championship rounds, you go to three different track types in both rounds. That way, like you don't have 2 mile and a halves for the mile and a half merchant in the championship or something like that. Like it's three different tracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're nailing down that schedule though, and it'll be probably up not sooner than later. Um, but right now we at least have these tracks locked in for next season.
So tell your friends we're running Gen 6 at these 18 tracks. We need to start recruiting folks.
Yeah,
Any
starting
friends
now.
you have,
Like I said,
any friends you
bunch,
have, get
a
them
bunch
in.
of a bunch of recruitment races coming up. We really need your guys' help, like showing up to these races. We need to figure out now if there's some tracks that we need to change, either fuel, like figure out our tire set situation to really try to get these cars down before we start this season. That way we don't go into it blind and we're having a bunch of bad races like honestly Bristol was this past week. So
Yeah. No, and I think I don't know. We haven't discussed this other than we've talked about doing test races and recruitment races. But I would think probably like a Las Vegas for a mile and a half recruitment test race since we're not running there. Um, Makes sense to me at least.
I'll be your friend, Miguel.
probably a Bristol too. I mean, we don't run there, but it is good to have a notebook on it.
Yeah. I had another track in mind when I started this tangent I was going on, and it's gone completely. So, but yeah, we'll have Michigan for Auto Club as a sub for Auto Club. That was the other one.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but
So we
but
should be going to similar track styles, even if they're different tracks.
yeah, and then I mean, Super Speedway is what it is because we're not going to run Echo Park to simulate Daytona or Talladega. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. That's what we're looking forward to in the coming season. And then we're on to Dakota news.
Yep. Saturday, October 25th, all classes get to go topless except Crown Vic. Obviously, you're not going to cut the roof off of that, but it's a good homage to breast cancer awareness, topless. If
see
you
what you
get it,
did
you
there.
get it.
I see what you did there.
If you get it, you get it. But as drivers, I mean, this is our favorite time of the year. You know, breast cancer awareness. You get to take the top off. You get a lot more air to the spoiler. You get to play with setups for more downforce. It serves two purposes. It's really fun for the drivers to be able to get to play with something new that you don't always get to do, and then it's also for a good cause. And we're do trick or treating for the kids on the front stretch. It's all around. You know, it's like I said, it serves two purposes. It's all around fun for everybody.
Well, good luck to you. You said you were hanging a front end tonight, right?
Yeah, we got the nose piece, the new nose piece, bolted on, new bumper. We have to make a filler panel and either figure out if we're gonna have to straighten the hood out or just put a new one. But it's coming along. We should be ready before Saturday, I think.
Nice. Before we get into final stuff, I'm gonna go a little off topic. Shout out Griffin and my Blue Jays making it to the World Series. That starts Friday night. So
Who came from the other? Who were they facing?
Dodgers.
Dodgers. Take a wild guess.
Of course.
So
The $1 billion roster.
America's team, and they're from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are America's team. No one wants the Dodgers to win,
No, yeah, absolutely not.
even though
Miggy,
they got Freddie
no.
Freeman, my boy.
I do love Freeman. I do love Freddie Freeman, but
I hate he took the money over staying in Atlanta, but I get it.
he got the ring in Atlanta. I get it, but that's right. Go Jays. Anything else before we wrap up, boys?
I think that was it.
To keep a lookout for some of those exhibition fun races, recruitment races, whatever you want to call them, coming up as we wrap up this season. Good luck to rest of the, or not the rest of the all the playoff drivers as we continue this round of 8. 2 more races and decide our champion here coming up.
Oh, I do have one more thing. We just touched on it. As far as recruiting, if you know anybody that wants to run Gen 6, don't forget to mention we are paying out money with no entry fee. Unprecedented, never been done. Um, it has been done,
Yep,
but
I think Dakota's given up $500, something like that. Like
uh, yeah, I got Cameron's credit card information. We're all good.
Damn, thought I hit that.
Real quick, Cameron, what is your mother's maiden name, and what was the name of your first animal? Just random interview questions.
Oh, really? I mean, never really asked.
Yeah.
What was the name of your first dog?
Yeah. No. So we'll get a graphic together to advertise to send around for recruitment and stuff and touch on.
Also, if we get 20 plus cars, you have my word right now. We're racing for $50 total next year. If we can get a good field of cars that will show up all year, it'll go up. You got my word on that.
Yeah.
That is all I have.
All right.
Yep. So, yep, make sure you get your friends, anybody that you know that you might race with other leagues as well. Obviously, we don't want to step on other leagues' foot, so if they don't race on Mondays, feel free to invite them. I don't want to bring somebody away from a league that they're enjoying. So, but yep,
Well, I will say we are the premier racing league, so
We're the best one.
We can
we're
step on
the
toes
only
if we
one.
need to.
Don't. Yeah, we're the only ones. Don't. We're definitely the first thing that comes up on Google. Don't worry about that. There's no other Premier Racing leagues. The only one on iRacing.
So
The logo's copyrighted. That's how you know we mean business.
I think it's just not.
It says 2025 on it. We'll pretend.
so, but yeah. So if anyone else, if you guys don't have anything, I guess we can end on that note and we can just start thinking for Watkins Glen on Monday.
Good luck to everybody. Hope you're getting your practice in. Well, for my sake, don't get any practice in.
Either way, just know I'm dying. So just stay out of
James,
the way.
James, here 100% foolproof advice. Let's keep it on the track through the bus stop on the pace lap.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we're going there.
Yeah. Like I said, I hope you wreck so hard Monday night because I need the points.
Hey, if you were, it's the betting favorite is that I'm gonna wreck. So
Well, I guess I could, in favor of James, I could if I'm gonna die, I could just do it when Cameron's right in front of me.
yeah, it's in Dakota's interest not to have me at Homestead, but try to prove him
I,
wrong.
that is perfectly fine with me if you're not at Homestead. That's all I can say.
Griffin, we'd have to be able to reach Jackson to wreck him. So, I think
Well, I don't know.
that was a one-time thing at Sonoma that I was in within striking distance. So,
Or somebody could be the uh the volunteer and just be slow enough to get lapped.
I mean, hey, there's one lap where we're guaranteed to be on the same lap as Jackson, and that is the pace lap. So
I have it on good authority that the wall in the carousel will mess you up. So,
Well, I was gonna say you could just instead of hitting the wall this time, just hit Jackson.
I still need the points.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
So, but yeah. Anyway,
all right, well, good luck going forward. We'll wrap this up.
thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll race with you guys Monday night. We'll see you again next Wednesday for another episode of the Weekend Review.
Yep. See you on Monday.
Thanks for tuning in. See ya.